Hi, this is Neeraj Jaiswal and welcome to the episode. In this episode, you are going to learn about the input field. You are also going to learn about the properties of this input field, and I'll also show you how to access the values entered in the input field and basically use it to populate some data somewhere. So if when I run this, so this way you can access the value of the input field. So I'm going to show you how. Let's get started. We will add an input field to the panel. So let's go. If you see, when you add an input field, two more childs are added. One is a placeholder, another is a text. So placeholder is basically the text which will be shown when the input field is empty, while the text will be the actual text. Text will be the actual text which will be shown while you are typing. If you run this right now, so this is how the input field by default works. The next thing which we want to do, I am going to explain to you some of the properties of the input field. Most of the properties of input field are common UI element properties like interactable, transitions, navigations. Let's come down to this property, text component. The text component is again the same thing, the text child here, while the text is basically the text which you will be typing by default. If you want, you can have some text outplay there. For now, I am just going to leave it as blank. Character limit is number of characters which you want the text field to have, or rather the input field to have. You can have 10, 20, something like that. The content type can be basically some logics which are applied to the content which will be shown. So what are the characters you can enter, and some like standard, auto corrected, integer numbers, decimal numbers, alphanumeric, name, email address, password, like what type of the content will be entered into this text field, that you can customize here. So if you want, you can choose a specific type. So if I choose integer here, it should show only, allow you to enter only integer fields, integer numbers. So if I am trying to enter J, K means whatever like characters I am not able to enter, but as I start entering the numbers, I am able to enter. So this is the way you control the type of the content which the text field should be allowed. Next is the placeholder. It's basically a placeholder field where this child is basically set. Just placeholder child of the input field. Next is the current blink rate. The blink, basically the carrots, like how at what rate it should be blinking, you can control. You can speed it up or slow it down. The carrot width, you can set it here, and then you can even change the color of the carrot depending on if you want to change the color of basically the text field or something like that. You can change it here to customize it as per your need. And then when you select a text, then what should be its color, that you can set here. Use the selection color. Now hide mobile input is basically something iOS specific, where basically in the iOS keyboard you have the input field out there. So if you don't want to show it, you can just select this hide input field. Read only is basically when you don't want the user to change the value in this input field. There can be some situations where you actually don't want the user to change the field, and sometimes you want it. So that time you can use basically check this checkbox. So that is the basically the properties of the input field. So, and in the placeholder you can enter the text which you want. Like I can enter some numbers. I've changed the placeholders text. I'll just increase the size of the input field. here. I'll just keep it here, and this is like it is showing it like this. Then so basically text is basically again the same thing. You want, if you want, you can set the text. So that is all what you have, the properties which are there for the input field. Now how to access the basically the value in the input field. So for that I'll just write a small demo for you. I'll just place one more UI element, the text. What I'm going to do is, as you type in this text field, the value will be shown here. For that I need to add a script. So I'll just add a script holder here, an empty object, hold the script, and I'll add a script component here, new script. I'll name this as demo script. I'll move it, I'll create a script folder here so that it doesn't get organized basically. I'll move it there. Now I'll open this script in the develop. So now two things I need. I need references to the input fields text. So before doing that, let me add the package unityengine.ui. Now input text, and then I'll need to keep it public, otherwise I'll not be able to see it in the inspector. So now another is output text. So I'll create one more method on value change. What I'm going to do is, whatever the value is being changed, I will text is equal to output text is dot txt is equal to input text. So this is done. Just build, done. I'll just close the monodevelop. Now the game object is there. What I need to do is, I'll set the input fields text child as the input text, and the next one, the bottom text, as the output text. Now let's run it. So when you enter any value here, okay, so what we have done is, till now we have set everything for the script, but we have not set the script as the on value event handler. So on value change event handler, we need to set it here. We need to drag it here, demo script on value change, save it. Now let's run it. So here you can see the value are being changed. So this is how basically we are also able to access the value of the input field. So that's all in this episode. So keep rocking and happy coding.